Wakili, good to see you in your forte.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashiri. Thank you for having me today.
Last time you gave us very
Yes.
good information regarding the freehold
Yes,
properties.
yes.
And you told us the difference between the title deed
Yes.
and certificate of title.
Yes.
And it was epic. That was
Yes.
part one.
Thank you.
Now
Thank
part
you so
two,
much. Yes.
I have a few questions
Yes.
about people who want to own properties on lease.
Yes.
Maybe first and foremost, you can tell us between the freehold
Yes.
and the leasehold.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Ashiri. When it comes to land ownership, especially private land ownership, there are two types of ownership.
Yes.
That is absolute ownership under freehold properties. Then we have leasehold ownership.
Fantastic.
Properties. Now, under leasehold property ownership, you get a lease from the government, the national government, allowing you to own this property for a number of years, say 900 years, 99 years.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to freehold ownership, you own this property in perpetuity.
Yes.
You own it forever, even to their 100th generation.
Yes.
They can transfer to each and every generation without renewal. But it doesn't make it any superior than the leasehold properties.
Yes.
Because for leasehold, as much as you're given a certain duration for ownership,
yes,
you're also allowed to renew.
And you have the right of renewal.
You have the first right of refusal. So it's up to you as the owner to say, I don't want this property.
So whether it's a freehold or leasehold, the ownership is to many generations you own.
As long as you're renewing the leasehold title, you'll own it to the millionth generation.
And in Kenya, in Kenya government,
yes,
I'm told that foreigners, or what we call the Friends of Kenya, can own leasehold, but they cannot own freehold, which we are now calling the certificate of title.
Yes.
So tell us more about that.
It is a constitutional provision where foreigners can only own properties for leasehold less than 99 years. So 99 years going downwards.
Yes.
For instance, this project in Bipingo, that property can be owned by foreigners. We have another property in Nakuru for 99 years that can be owned by foreigners.
Yes.
So only those restricted properties can be owned by foreigners. But the beauty in it is that most of these leasehold properties are within very key installations. So you'll find them in very prime areas, say Nairobi, very prime areas in Malindi, very prime areas in Nakuru. So they are secluded for a certain area, which is very prime. And of course, the government wants to also ensure that proper development is done on those properties.
Fantastic.
So that hence the limitation. Yes.
Let's now look at the real document. Sometimes we were having this, this title.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us this is certificate of certificate of title.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us the difference because some customers say, hey, George, can you tell me the difference between this and others?
Yes, yes. If you can remember, we mentioned a certificate of title when we were discussing
part one.
Absolute properties in part one. But this one is also written certificate of title, interestingly. And I will explain why. This is a title that was issued under the Government Lands Act, a repealed act.
Yes.
Now we have the Land Registration Act and the Land Act, which provide for new titles that we shall get to in just a short while. Now, this title describes the lease period. In this case, it's for 944 years.
Almost 1,000 years.
Almost 1,000 years, yes. Yeah. I don't think any of us can live for that long.
We'll be dead. Yes.
But this one began in 1st April 1964.
Yes.
That's when this lease started. And it will go all the way until it expires.
Yes.
Then this new person may decide to renew. But with the new laws that we have in place, it shall be reduced to 99 years, but renewal on a cycle basis. So once that period expires, it shall be renewed. Now, one thing that is very interesting about these titles is that it had a deed plan inside.
Yes.
Now, this deed plan would give you the shape of the property, the dimensions, very easy for construction when clients want to construct and all that. Then it also had certification for the survey plan that was done for this particular deed plan.
Yes.
Another very interesting thing, and this is something that has been experienced with our clients, is that when you're doing registrations, say a transfer to a new client, this title was not discarded.
No.
So they do a new entry. So if you have 100 entries on this particular title, it is handwritten. You take it to the registry together with your transfer. Then the registrar will have a stamp. Will affix a stamp here
and sign
and write and sign.
So it never dies.
It never dies. even if you have 1 million entries on this title, they will add another page.
That's a good one. And by the way, Wakili, this is the kind of titles that we have for Success Garden.
Phase 1.
Phase 1.
Yes.
And of course, phase 2, there was a difference. And
yes,
I think the other one is what we are calling the certificate of lease.
Certificate of lease. Now, this is the new generation. And it actually is a result of repealing of the Government Lands Act, as we had explained in the first instance.
Excellent.
It is a product of repealing of several acts, bringing rise to the Land Registration Act and the Land Act.
Wow.
Now, the certificate of lease is recognized by the Land Act and the Land Registration Act, but that does not terminate this one.
So they are both valid.
This is very valid.
So whether you have this at home or you have this, current ones, they are all valid. That's a good one.
Yes, so they are all good titles which can be defended.
Yes.
Now, the new features that differentiate this
and that
and this one is that this one, when you take it to the land registry for registration purposes,
yes,
this one is discarded. They tear it apart. They give you
a fresh
certificate
one.
of lease.
Amazing.
A fresh one. With the new generations, what we had seen in the certificate of titles, it contains the same information. You'll have serial numbers, you'll have the watermarks, you'll have the special features on the document,
the code,
and everything else. Yes, everything will remain constant.
Yes.
One thing that now our clients will get when they get a leasehold title,
yes,
special conditions which are contained in a lease document. Now, these special conditions will spell out how they are going to use their property.
I tell you.
Some special conditions even say that you can use up to 70% of your property in construction.
Yes.
The rest remains green.
Yes.
Grass, trees, and all that. So these provide for the property title itself, but these are not transferred.
No.
When you have a lease that was created, let's say 1st of January 2025, this lease will go even to their millionth year. So we implore our clients to take good care of these documents.
Tuchunge hii.
Tuchunge kabisa. Yes, tuchunge hii.
Excellent.
When we have these titles, when you have these certificates of lease, we also take care of our leases because they provide for special conditions.
So with the real mother.
This is the real mother.
I get it. Wow.
Yes, and it's not reprinted. The most thing you can have, let's say you lose this document.
Yes.
The registry can only give you a certified copy of what they have.
Okay.
So this is the same document that the registry has.
Amazing.
So it contains special conditions on the use of the property. And you see even the cabinet secretary signs the documents themselves.
Wow.
Cabinet secretary for lands.
Ish.
So these are very important documents. Then of course the first owner will sign at the back.
Amazing.
This now the first owner of this property was Optiven Limited. These are the directors of Optiven Limited.
Yes.
And of course it is certified by an advocate and signed again by the cabinet secretary.
Ish.
Yes.
And these are the titles for Vipingo, for example.
This is Vipingo. We have Success Gardens Phase
2. Yes.
So for leases that we have that we recently started working on,
yes,
these are the leases that are issued.
Fantastic.
And also one thing that is notable is that when we have this certificate of leases,
yes,
this is after change of user has been effected to ensure that this property is either residential or of commercial use. Yes.
Fantastic. Now our viewers, our followers, our customers, people out there, you now know the difference between these documents, and we shall continue sharing this. And if you're out there, you have a question, you can call us on 0790 300 300. We are right here at Wakili's desk. And in case of any question, I'll be coming to you so that we get this information for ourselves, for our people, for our customers. And we are here to empower, to inform, to educate our people. That's our role as Optiven. God bless you at Optiven, inspiring possibilities. Thank you, Sana.
Thank you so much,
Wakili. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
appreciate
coming.
it.
Much appreciated.
God bless.